Everyone, it's BDevine, and we are moving into a new moon in Sagittarius, and this has got some interesting aspects to it, which I will be going through with you guys today. I also wanted to talk about our moon signs a little bit, so in the next coming week or so, make sure that you know what your moon sign is, as we will be going over some interesting aspects of the moon signs and how you relate to the sun signs, and this may also help you to understand yourself a little more as well. But here we go. I'm going to share the screen with you at some points as well, but the December 2021 new moon, it is a solar eclipse. Now, remembering that the full moon that we just had was a eclipse as well. And that was a lunar eclipse, okay? And the solar eclipse will challenge you to fully embrace a new reality. So welcome, thank you for being here, and I will hopefully be with you down in the chat. If not, I'll be in there later on. So you're free to chat amongst each other. Some people say hi to me. So I'm saying hi to everyone now. But I'm live, but I'm not live. So I've already recorded this. Okay, so let me read to you first a little bit about this new moon so you can understand it, and then we'll go over the different signs, etc. So the intensity of the moment has you feeling restless, overwhelmed, or thoroughly electrified and eager to step into the future. So depending on what your sign is, it's going to be, how you're feeling. For me, I'm feeling very determined, because Sagittarian energy can also make you feel very determined as well. So with last month's lunar eclipse and full moon in Taurus, remember we talked about that? The month hosts a doozy of the Sagittarius new moon. Not only is it the last new moon of 2021, but it'll also occur at the same time as the final solar eclipse of the year, right? How cool. And the last eclipse in a series occurring on the Sagittarius Gemini axis. It began back in June 2020. How are you all doing things then? What was happening? As a result, you can be feeling an air of finality, like people are going, this is it, something's happening, this is all going to finish, this is all crumbling down, this is the end. And it will be, okay? But we've got to allow for some crumbs to fall and some crap that we still have to deal with. But the good news will be that those that have been deceiving us, suppressing us, holding us down, etc., those are the ones that are going to be in the biggest trouble. And we're seeing a lot of people step down already. All right, just a moment. Oh, okay, come on, go. All right, so this is sort of reflecting what happened in June 2020. So, ruled by Jupiter, the planet of abundance and excess, this lunar event, hosted by Sagittarius and occurring on the 4th of December at 2:42 a.m. Eastern Time, okay, magnifies your ability to embrace and speak your truth while amplifying nervous energy and promoting a hardworking, rational point of view. So here's some details of it, and I'll go through some others as well. This is just from shape.com. So the power of the eclipses. First, a new moon and solar eclipse basics. The opposite of a full moon, a new moon, occurs when the moon is not illuminated by the sun from our perspective on Earth. So it just looks like there's blackness out there, right? Meaning it's not at all visible to us. At that dark blank sky can function almost like a vision board on which you can envision and pin your hopes, dreams, and goals. Every month, and very rarely twice a month, the new moon presents an opportunity to get clear on long-term intentions and projects. And let me tell you, in April 2022, we have 3 moons in that month. 3 moons in that month. It's going to be intense. But during a solar eclipse, not only do you get a deep black sky as a result of the moon's position, the moon also casts a shadow on the sun. And this creates an even more of a blank slate on which you can project your long-term wishes. And because the sun will conjunct or pair up with the moon during a solar eclipse versus opposing it as it does during a lunar eclipse, it brings your purpose, identity, and confidence, which is ruled by the sun, in sync with your emotions and intuition, which is ruled by the moon. Right? So we got all of this going on. We're pretty super in tune right now, right? And one thing that's been happening to me, and I don't know if it's been happening to you, and I think this has to do with jumping into the next dimension, is that all of these strange and bizarre days of our life, like I mean, I'm just remembering some random day of my life and going, wow, I totally forgot about that. And dreaming of people that I've known, family members as well. And to the point where I'm like, are you okay? Because I dreamed about you. And normally, if I dream about somebody, they have already, usually I dream of people who've already passed. Animals come when they pass. You know, if I have people in it or there's something going on with them as well. But random days of our lives just coming up out of nowhere. Not deja vu so much, just a locked away memory. So this can make for a powerfully motivating moment in which you could feel deeply compelled to take initiative, to change course and move in a whole new direction. You know, we're coming up into a brand new year, and this right now is the time in which you really want to think about your goals for 2022. There are going to be a lot of changes. There are going to be a lot of things that we're doing now that we won't be doing. There are going to be points of view that are changing as well. There are going to be truths revealed. There are going to be secrets revealed. And the eclipse season tells you that you're seeing some of the information, but not all. And when Neptune starts moving through here as well, that's where all the leaks of information start happening. And you guys, I told you November was the start of it. And here it is again. This one's going to be a little bit more powerful, though, impactful, because we have Mars to deal with as well. And in Vedic astrology, is Aries as well, which is a warring star. So anyway, I don't know too much about all of that, so I don't want to say too much in case I get it all wrong. But okay, so here we go. New moons are often the jumping off point for a particular narrative in your life. And that's especially true for shakeup, bringing solar eclipses. Every eclipse is part of a series of eclipses happening in opposing signs. And each event in the series often serves as markers in a larger journey. You might begin to think about leaving a relationship, have a fight, separate, move, and end it for good, only to later realize all the twists and turns that eventually added up to a major life change occurred in tune with eclipses. I don't know how many times people have reached out to me and it's been on an eclipse and they're like, oh, I've just ended this situation and should I go back? And it's like, no, it was an eclipse. The door slammed shut for a reason. Okay. So this solar eclipse is the final event in the Sagittarius and Gemini series, which began on June 5th, 2020. It included a lunar eclipse in Gemini on November 30, right? Remember? 2020. A solar eclipse that happened December 14, 2020. A lunar eclipse in Sagittarius happened May the 26th, 2021. And a solar eclipse in Gemini on June 10, 2021. Which is interesting because that's the day that my husband and I and my son Corey picked up my dad from the hospital in Pennsylvania and brought him with us. And 2 weeks later, he died on the full moon. Anyway, themes of this series: soaking up knowledge, sharing information, and checking your belief systems. So even if this solar eclipse isn't connecting in a significant way with your natal chart, you'll likely notice that it feels more like a full moon, in that it can be emotionally charged and shocking. But new moons, and especially eclipses, serve as a crucial astrological checkpoint for launching into uncharted but ultimately rewarding territory. Okay, so you're moving into something new. You're moving into a new way of doing things. Okay, and you have to do this. I'm always pushing myself to do something else because I'm fighting against quite a wave of negativity a lot, you know, but it's not going to get me down. It's not going to win in my life. I will continue to go, and you watch me. I'm on Rumble, I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, obviously. I think I'm on brand YouTube, but I don't go on there very much. But trying to be as many places in case we have something where everything's shut down, especially if there's something dark going on behind the scenes. You know, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all of those places. You know, Twitter, Jack Dorsey just stepped down, you know, the CEO of Twitter. So why? So we're just seeing some changes happening already. Okay. So working with an eclipse versus a full moon. So when we're in a full moon energy, we're finishing things off. When we're in when we're in a new moon, we're beginning something. So a regular new moon, you might make an attempt to gain clarity on long-term dreams, goals, and big picture projects. You'll open a therapist or loved one, a journal, light a candle, or do a visualization practice in an attempt to pinpoint what you want to achieve, and then set a powerful intention. But when you're dealing with the new moon and solar eclipse, the energy is so intense that it's thought of as unwieldy. It's not really meant to be worked with through rituals so much as your urge to let go and open yourself up to whatever the event is meant to bring for you. For example, eclipses, even those that coincide with new moons like this, are known for serving as the backdrops for things ending, especially relationships, sadly, for a lot of people. Relocation is another thing. Career changes, or major family or financial drama. Okay? Occurrences that significantly change up the landscape of a part of your life. Now, sometimes that doesn't mean that everything, oh, that's it, everything's going to die. It's changing. So if you've had no money this year, it's changing. If you've had no relationship, it's changing. If you've had a bad relationship, it's changing, you see? So, I mean, people can go ahead and be negative about absolutely anything. If you have something positive to say, they're going to have something negative to back that right up, you know? So you've just got to see things in a different perspective here. Okay? If an eclipse is interacting with your birth chart in a significant way, it's less a matter of figuring out how to channel its power and more so giving yourself over to its game-changing effect. This isn't to say that you couldn't possibly be inspired to do something concrete, like healthy meals and all that sort of stuff. If the eclipse is hitting your 6th house of wellness and daily routine, or signing up for an online course if it's in your 9th house of higher learning, you know. So it's more that there's no prescribed must-dos for an eclipse. It's about engaging in the activity that's most centering for you. Okay. All right, so the themes of the December 2021 Sagittarius new moon, and then we're going to have a look at all of your signs, okay? So people whose birth chart features Sagittarius placements, sun, moon, rising, okay, tend to be natural born entertainers and free-spirited adventurers who are all about living life to the fullest. They love to learn. They strive to broaden their horizons and relentlessly chase after eye-opening experiences. They can also be brash, direct, and susceptible to proselytizing. I don't even know what the hell that means. Mutable in nature, Sagittarius is capable of taking new information into consideration and switching gears when necessary. So regardless of the aspects to other planets, Sagittarian new moon typically ask you to pinpoint your truth, stand in your sense of self, and share how you feel in a fully unfiltered way. Because this new moon is solar eclipse, and because the moon will tightly conjunct information gathering Mercury, you'll be driven even more intensely to think and act in bold, fiery, knowledge-seeking Sagittarian way, and to stand up for everything that you hold dear. You want to speak from the heart and the head, pushing for a new beginning that feels truly adventurous, free-spirited, and in line with your core belief system. So on a more personal level, you could feel torn between wanting to cling to what you know, all while realizing it's time to release what's no longer working and fully embrace a new reality. One of the things, the biggest things for myself is the Light Leadership program right now, where I just want to teach everybody how to do everything, because we're sick of being called light workers. It's not about working for the light anymore. It's about training people and teaching people how they can change their lives and keeping people uplifted and full of light and understanding the way that their body works, understanding the way their mind works, putting the psychology into spirituality, the traumatic responses that we have, as well as the energy that can be lingering in our body, in our mind, in our soul from our past lives, just from interferences in energy plays, etc. And learning this so thoroughly that when you connect with somebody and they come to you with all kinds of problems, you're going to know exactly how to deal with it as it comes up, And okay, maybe some of this is a natural ability, this has been a natural ability for me that I didn't even know I had, is to read someone's energy, but I learned also how to do that. I went in and learned physiognomy, and then I went and learned all about moles, and then I went and learned all about superstitions, and I went and learned about body behavior when someone's lying to you, etc. Learning all of these things will help you to become a fantastic psychic, if that's what you want to call it, because you're just right there in tune with the person's energy. And it doesn't mean that you always have to get it right. It doesn't mean you have to take every single client. There's plenty of clients that I should have said no to, but I really wanted to help them. And I thought, well, if you've been sent in my direction, I must be here to help you. But I knew inside, no, I'm not the right person for this person, or they have severe mental health issues, or, they, I don't know, they were just not really truly into it, and they were just trying to get me to do things for them, or whatever it was. You learn all of this, when to say no as well. But as we move into this new life, between 2022 and 2024, so much crap is going to go down. It's not even funny. And it's not about COVID and all that craziness anymore, because we're all past that. We've seen the numbers of that, right? We can see that it's not truly a big, massive threat to us, okay? We can see that. And there are other things far greater, like getting, in a car accident. You've got more of a chance of that happening than having the C thing, right? Or dying from it is what I'm getting at. Very, very high recovery rate. This is not 90% of people are dying. This is like 99% of people are living. So they can't continue to use that anymore unless we let them, okay? People are tired and sick and tired of it. So there has to be a way in which we change the way that we see things, the way that we do things, the way that we speak, what we're going to put up with, what boundaries we need to have around ourselves. For people that just constantly take and take and take and take and take, because you're going to need your energy to lift yourself into a new future, something that you want. And it's not going to always be easy. You're going to have to know how to cope with any situation that comes up. Any situation. Not, oh my God, this is happening. Oh, and I call it flitting around, just looking over here and over here, just on this mundane level. This is not going to give you a solution. This is not. And you're being asked right now to look at your constant habits. The first thing that happens to you when there's a crisis, what do you do? Because you're going to have to learn that there's a way out of everything, and don't panic. That's the worst thing that you can do in any kind of situation, right? And we're learning ourselves. We're learning to focus, align, push forward, even if there's no money coming in, even if everything's falling apart, even if you're suppressed by everywhere, even if you've lost your job or you've had to walk away from it, that you say, okay, but there's a way in which I can just earn something now. There's a way in which I can bring some money in, and I'll do that because I don't want to do that. I don't agree with that. And what company is really looking after you or cares about you in the least? If they're forcing something on you that is for something that's not even a problem, it's all because they're getting paid to do that, and it's got to stop. That kind of greed has got to stop. So if you were born under the sign of Sagittarius, or with your personal planets, Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, or Mars in Sagittarius, something you can learn from your natal chart. So you can look these up, okay? You'll undoubtedly feel the power of this eclipse and feel driven to initiate a game plan or move the ball forward on an existing endeavor. See, what people, what I mean is, you can look this up. What people do is say, I don't know what my moon sign is, so that I'll look it up for you. But I'm not doing that. Just look up your chart and go, what is my moon sign? What is my chart? Google it, or get the app called Time Passages, which doesn't cost anything. And you just put in your date of birth and where you were born, etc. And where, if it was in Australia, Spain, whatever it is, and then it gives you all of your planets are right there, and you can keep that and look at that anytime you like. So okay, all right. So those people who are also born in the signs of Gemini, Virgo, and Pisces will feel the energy in a more intense personal way. By the way, you need to look at your rising sign as well. Okay, make sure if you know what time you were born, or you can get that information, or maybe some places that defaults to like 12 a.m. So anyway, finally, in this little section that I'm going to read to you, the lunar event and the ones that came before it in 2020, 2021, Gemini Sagittarius season, have likely inspired and at times compelled you to seek out and express your truth while navigating quite a few chaotic twists and turns, right? We're all affected by this. Eclipses can shake you to the core and throw wild wrenches in even the most meticulously constructed plans. The events that transpire around this time could force you to reimagine your course, a proposition that's pretty much always perceived as terrifying. But if change is inevitable, there's really no sign better than Sagittarius to lead the charge, okay? Philosophical, pioneering, and life-loving, the audacious archer understands that without change, you're simply stuck. And that is a fate that's far worse than being thrust into a new adventure that asks for nothing more than for you to adapt. Okay, so let me see now if I can do this. Let's have a look. Okay, so we see here the lunar eclipse, okay, full moon, holiday season is happening. And the new moon in Sagittarius nudges us to reach a fiery conclusion. So, new moons which happen when the confident sun pairs up with a security-seeking moon generally offer the chance to gain clarity around a new chapter you want to write over the course of the next 2 weeks, up until the next full moon, and then the next 6 months. Okay, so this eclipse seasons go for the 6 months. When a new moon is accompanied by a solar eclipse, which happens when the moon casts a shadow on the sun, the intensity of the moment is amplified, underlining your motivation to recognize your truest emotions, stand in your sense of self, and take the initiative. Here we go. To move boldly down a new path. So this is just instyle.com, and sometimes I just find them from wherever I want to. That adventurous pioneering spirit is magnified by the fact that this particular new moon and solar eclipse is happening in free-spirited, bold, outspoken Sagittarius, ruled by the big, go big or go home Jupiter, okay? This also means that you can expect changes occurring around this new moon to revolve around truth. And here we go. Truth, knowledge seeking, long distance travel, belief systems, and faith. Okay. So the conjunction to Mercury highlights communication. Uranus spikes nervous tension and even more out of the blue change. So let's have a look at this. The new moon will also form a quincunx, one of the most awkward angles, that can exist between two planets, to Uranus or Uranus. I don't know. I just always called it Uranus. The planet of sudden change and rebellion, currently moving through fixed sign Taurus. So this can result in a crackling, electric nervous energy that can have you feeling antsy, anxious, and just generally unsettled. It might also manifest in an incident in which you're pushed to make challenging changes to your everyday life or to switch up your approach to big picture goals. Just what we were talking about. You may have to do things in a completely different way in the coming year. Someone is ringing me. I don't think they're meant to be ringing me. Although we usually think of full moons as the lunar event most tied to losing sleep, thanks in part to the big luminous celestial body's light at its most radiant, this darker aspect could produce a similar effect as a result of Uranus. So if you're finding yourself wide awake at 2 a.m., consider that an opportunity to get clear on the changes you would ideally make versus though you feel you're being forced into, and reflect on how you might most productively bridge the gap as well. So Saturn offers a grounding vibe. Although we tend to think of Saturn as the Debbie Downer of all planets, given that it oversees restriction, limitation, and boundaries, it can also bring structure, diligence, and stabilization, because the new moon forms a sextile to the taskmaster planet, currently moving through Aquarius. You could find yourself centered by a pragmatic game plan. By putting your nose to the grindstone now, ideally in a forward-thinking way, you can even better cope with the changes you're currently and soon to be experiencing. So it also bears noting that the energy and themes around this eclipse echo those around the Saturn-Uranus square we've been experiencing all year. Now, I'm going to be talking a lot about Saturn and Pluto in the coming videos as well, and going back into history and what was happening when those planets were around. So like in certain conjunctions in certain ways in certain zodiac signs as well. So the push-pull between the status quo and revolution, foundational structures, and electrifying shakeups is even more into focus as we approach the third and final square of the year in December 2024. So this is interesting right before Christmas, okay? There's this square happening. So whether you're crossing your fingers that you can take what you know to the next level or move forward in a radical new way, this square should present various challenging but also potentially eye-opening moments over the next few weeks. So here we go. You guys wanted to know about your signs. Okay, so we're going to have a look at those. Wait a minute. Let me get this down here. Okay. Aries. Now, just let me have a mouthful for... Oops. Okay, Aries. With the new moon and solar eclipse falling in your 9th house of adventure, you're going to want to take a leap of faith to break free of any restrictions that you feel have been holding you back in both your work and life. Pushed through, Aries, okay? Taurus, the new moon and solar eclipse falling in your 8th house of emotional bonds, you'll be stirred to stand up for whatever makes you the most comfortable and supported in your most intimate relationships. Interesting. Gemini, with the new moon and solar eclipse falling in your 7th house of partnerships, it's time to reconcile your personal aspirations and sense of self with any conflicting needs of a SO, closest friend, business partner, or simply your vision of a one-on-one pairing. Cancer, falling in your 6th house of wellness, it's time to make bold changes to your everyday life and routine. This could bring you more balance and nurture your well-being as much as you nurture others. Interesting. Okay, Leo. Now, I can't do a timestamp because I'm making this before I, so this will become a premiere, so I can't timestamp these. But Leo, the new moon and solar eclipse fills in your 5th house of romance and self-expression, challenging you to own your pursuit of creativity and the activities that bring you joy and pleasure. So what I want you to do is remember also your moon sign. Oops, I can't do it. I'm going to go through this book called Moon Signs with us, okay, in one of the videos. So make sure that you have it because you're going to be mind blown by the information. Okay. We also need to make sure that it is your actual moon sign as well. So make sure you're putting in all the right information. Okay. Virgo. Falling in your 4th house of home and life, the new moon and solar eclipse brings your focus to your foundation and old emotional wounds. So this could also be the dreams and things you might have been having. So urging you to confront, heal your past so you can embrace the future more readily. Libra. Because this new moon and solar eclipse falls in your 3rd house of communication, shakeups might center around siblings or neighbors. You might also experience a dramatic spike in your appetite to learn something new as well. Scorpio, with the new moon and solar eclipse falling in your 2nd house of income, that feeling that you're not receiving well-deserved recognition and rewards on the job could reach a fever pitch, making this a moment to rethink and reimagine how and for whom you're offering your skills. Sagittarius, with the new moon and solar eclipse occurring in your sign. I just looked at the clock, it's 3:33. This can be an intense but empowering opportunity to narrow your focus on a big picture goal. Being true to yourself and speaking your truth even more than usual sets you up for the most rewarding result. Capricorn. Okay, Capricorn, the new moon and solar eclipse falls in your 12th house of spirituality, urging you to tune into your dreams and intuition more than usual, as they could be a powerful tool for envisioning the pathway forward. Aquarius, falling in your 11th house of networking, working with a new group or team could be a game changer for feeling connected and making progress on your long-term wishes. Pisces, this new moon and solar eclipse is in your 10th house of career. You'll be ready to assert your professional aspirations in a bold, new way, embracing the spotlight, and you will shine. Okay. All right, everybody. So there's so many things happening here. This is a very, very important time in everybody's life. We do need to remain vigilant, strong, focused, aligned with ourselves. If you would like to have, personal sessions with me, you need to get in quickly because, 2022 is on its way. I'm also going to be teaching a light leadership webinar. This will be an introduction to what we're going to be learning in a new platform, okay? And all of you are light leaders that are listening. You want to be able to share and help with others. You want to be able to tune into your abilities more. You want to be on target with everything that you're doing. You want to be able to manifest and share this with others. And it always comes from a healing perspective as well. So it'll be $19.99 to be a part of the Light Leadership Program, the first webinar, the introductions, the activations, and all of the information. So you can email me if you like, and I'll put you on the list. This will be a private live show, and the webinar will go for probably 2 or 3 hours. So it'll be quite an event. You'll also be able to get most likely be able to get a meditation download for free as well that I will send to everybody who's on the list. Okay, so that is really important to me. I have so much knowledge to share. I have so much more than just doing readings and blah, blah, blah. You guys have seen some of it on, Divine Cafe, tuning right into you guys, and I don't know anything about your situation. And it's all about trust. I need to share more about this and reach a larger audience by doing webinars like this. I can get to more of you, and you can still be interacting with me personally as well. So this will probably most likely happen after Christmas, right? Get Christmas out of the way. It might more than likely will be around the 28th or so of December. Only $19.99. And if you do decide that you want to continue studying and working with me in the Light Leadership Program later on down the track, then you'll always be able to deduct that first $20 off of the whole course, of the whole setup. And this will also be an interactive platform. So, you'll be able to talk to each other. There'll be all kinds of videos and knowledge and PDFs and all kinds of things that you'll be learning in stages as you're going along, and then connecting with me live as well. So it's going to be kind of interesting. Hopefully I'm able to get it going very quickly into the new year. And I will also be sending everybody out a kit, with all kinds of crystals and bits and pieces that you're going to need for your journey as you travel forward. So I hope that you guys can connect with me on that one. And don't forget, you've got your 2022 forecast. You want to get in for those, and you can save 10% now by putting 10 in the checkout, okay, and applying that code, and it will give you 10% off. If you're a patron, you already get 10% off, or even 20% some of you get. I would appreciate more patrons. The more I can get, the better. Then it's not so difficult as we're going through as well. And I can give more of my time in one sort of area rather than trying to spread myself over so many. But I'm probably still going to do that anyway. But I want to thank you all for being here and being a part of this journey. Some of you have been with me since the beginning and since I first started making videos. And I really appreciate each and every one of you. I am going to send you lots and lots of love. Many, many blessings. You will see me soon, Friday night, tomorrow. We have an auction here. We've got an auction on TikTok on Tuesday. We've got our Christmas boxes ready to go. So get yourself a bargain at any one of the websites, okay? And sending lots of love, many, many blessings. And bye for now. Bye, everyone.